Hi there, it's Karen here again, working a little bit more on our mixed media journal cover. I haven't really done anything since the last video except left it all to dry. But what I would like to do to start off with is to add a little bit more sparkle. I felt it just lacked a bit of sparkle. So I have had a go just in this corner, and I don't know if you can see, it just catches the light a little bit. I've just gone over it quite roughly with my fingers in this corner, most of which probably will get cut off when I cut it down to size. I just wanted to try it out. And I think what I'm going to use is my Cosmic Shimmer Cosmic Twinkles. And I'm just going to put a bit on my finger and just rub it over where the snowflakes are. I was going a bit all over the place just because I couldn't really see what I was doing. But I do actually want to make it a little bit more targeted onto the snowflakes themselves and not go quite so far around them as I was doing before. I think now that it's dried, it's showing up a bit more, and I can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to dab really the twinkle onto all my little snowflakes, although some of them don't look very snowflakey. Like this one looks more like a flower, but we'll go with it. I'm not quite sure why there were flowers as well as snowflakes on that stencil, but it all adds to the variation in the pattern, doesn't it? And I have noticed, and I do apologise, when I'm doing my editing, I've noticed that my voice gets quieter and quieter, and I don't know if there's a problem with the microphone on my camera, or if it's just because I'm concentrating and I'm not really speaking loudly enough. So I will try and think about that a bit more and try and keep speaking up so you can hear me. I'm surprised nobody's complained that they can't hear what I'm saying. Or maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you don't need to hear what I'm saying. But I will try and speak up a bit more. But if I go quiet, it's because I'm concentrating, I think. But we might look into using I might try using my phone and see if that makes any difference to film. I've never used my phone to film, so I don't know quite how it will work out, and it may not be very good at all. I have no idea. I know most people seem to use their phones, but I've not tried that. I use my digital camera, which films very nicely, although it does cut itself off after every half an hour. So, I don't know. I might try using my phone one day and see how that works out. See if the sound is any better. But I should probably put you on fast forward now, and then you won't need to hear me. I'll play some pretty music instead. Right, so I've twinkled up the whole page. It looks really pretty when it catches the light. It was reminding me of this morning before I started filming. Richard and I went for a walk in the snow not something we've done for many, many years, and the sun was shining, and we just walked quite nearby, and there's just fields and fields and fields of snow sparkling in the sunshine. It was absolutely beautiful. It just really was a real magic just to see that, because it's such a rare sight in this country, particularly in this part of the world. We don't get that kind of snow that just lays for miles, and then you get the sun twinkling on it, and it was fabulous. So yeah, so I came home and thinking I've got to add some twinkle to my page or to my cover. So that's what I've done. Hopefully it's kind of looking a little bit blue. It's bringing out the blue, which wasn't really what I was hoping for. I just wanted twinkle, but there we go. Anyway, so I need to let this dry, and I need to go and clear this, all the papers and things behind it before I cut it down to size. So I'll be right back, which may be for me tomorrow. I'm not sure quite what time. I've got some mince pies I've got to make this afternoon, so I don't know how the time will go, but I do really need to leave this to dry properly. So I will be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I've allowed this to dry. It's a couple of hours later, but I thought I'd like to get this, at least this cover, pretty much finished if I can today. So what I need to do now is cut it down to size. So I just need to cut the height down to 9 inches. So I've got to decide if I'm going to do the top half of the bottom half of the page. And I think that's the size, the bit I would prefer, I think, to this half. So it's about 1, 2, 3. So it'll be to there. So yeah, I think that would be nice as the front cover, like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. All right. Put it right way up. And yeah. So I'm going to have this at 9 inches this way. I was thinking of making it a bit smaller, but I think that gives me a little bit of room for slightly bigger papers if I have them. Even though the ones that I'm using are, because I can't print borderless, they've had to cut them right down. And this is going to be my first page of my signature. I really love that page, so I think the colours go quite well. It's a bit more, the colour of the blue, or bluey green, is a bit more turquoisey than I really needed, but I'm going to, now that's right, isn't it? Just going across that, that's it, I'm just, right, I'm cutting it the wrong way. There we go. Just cut that down. And then we've got a couple of tags to use to make this with this. So, yep, that will be fine. So that's the front page. Right, so now I need to find a piece of paper to go on the other side, because, yeah, that's pretty hideous, isn't it? Okay, so what I picked out, I have 3 absolutely beautiful Blue Fern Studio papers. It's really difficult to get Blue Fern in this country, and I have been hoarding these for, I don't know, probably at least a couple of years, if not longer. Every time I watch Gail's videos when she's showing the latest Blue Fern Studios kit, I'm so envious of people who can just order them. But I managed to get hold of a few, and I just want to find one that will work with the kit that I'm using. So that one actually is quite a good option. This is I don't know what the name of the kit. Oh, Vintage Christmas 2 this is. So that side's no good, but this side might work quite well. If you put it next to that, there's actually quite a nice match there. So that might work. And then I've got this one, which is also from Vintage. Oh, this is just Vintage Christmas. Now, I don't think, well, I'm not sure. That colour's not bad either. What's on the other side? Oh, that's a bit too much. That's not quite what I want, but I don't think this is actually, it's not a huge difference in this colour, but it also turns in quite well. It's all a bit like a mid-distance between the colour on the front, but it is closer to this colour, so that's quite a nice option too. Oh, I'm going to have trouble, aren't I, choosing? And then I have a third option, which is this one, which is also Vintage Christmas 2, which is very pretty, but I'm not sure, although I do like this bit down the side. What's on the other side? No, I'm not such a big fan of that side. So is this a bit too much? I do quite like that flower down the side, but it's a bit more red, really. There's a much more red than this in this kit, I think. So I think we'll say no to that one, put that aside, and then try and decide between these two, which is not easy because they're both really beautiful. So there's that one, and I don't know which. I suppose I'd use that side, or this one. I think I'd probably go with the pink, just because we are embracing the pink for this journal. Are we not? And actually that's not too bad either. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this piece here. So I've got to cut that down to 9 inches as well. I'll take this one out and cut this one down. So I'm going to need to, let's move this out of the way. I'm going to need to glue these two together. It's a shame, isn't it? Because that's really pretty too, but it doesn't go. Oh, and there's a gorgeous sander on the side there. Oh well. Okay, just doesn't go with this. So I need to glue these two together, and then I'm going to sew around them. But I think the first thing I want to do is to ink around both papers. So I'm just going to do that quickly. If I can. Right, so those are now inked around. I think what I need to do is glue them together, but I'm not going to glue right to the edges because I want to sew around it. Let's put that the right way up, just for the sake of it being the right way up. Okay, so I think I'm going to just, as it's just paper to paper, I'm going to use my tacky glue because that should work very well. Let's put this on here. And line it up. Oop. A bit of wiggle room with this glue. Might just turn it over so I can spread it, because I can't spread it so well where it's all lumpy bumpy on the front. Ooh. We have slight slippage. Let's try and realign it. Okay, I think we're there. Hoping this glue is going to be strong enough. just to hold it long enough for me to sew it. That should hold it nicely. Let's move it along a little bit. Ooh, just trying to get it lined up. I have to do a little trimming. It's got a little bit showing. That doesn't matter. Trimming off a bit here and there just to make sure it's all lined up. Not a problem. I might see if I can use the art glitter glue just to hold some of the bits that are popping up. Probably should have used the Fabri-Tac just to make sure it held, but because I'm going to sew it, hopefully it's not going to be too much of a problem. I just need it to keep it lined up. There will need to be a little bit of trimming, I think. I think this corner as well. That doesn't look too bad. That's going to hold, I think, just long enough for me to go. I'm just going to go to the sewing machine now and do a zigzag all around the edge, and then I'll be back. Right, so I've sewn all around it. I'm quite pleased how that's turned out. It was almost straight all the way around, not completely. I went a little bit offline a little bit there, but now I've got to try and see if I can fold it. I wasn't sure whether to do what's it? I can't remember what it's called. Score line to fold it. I'm not sure whether that would be a good idea. I have a feeling it might not be a bad idea, but I'm going to try folding it first and see what happens. Or do I need to trim it a little bit? I think I've got to trim a little bit off of the side there because it's just a little bit over. I might try my little guillotine for that bit. See if it'll fit. Usually it does. Yeah. So I might just... Okay, now we'll try folding it. Hope I don't get... Yeah. A bit worried it might get a bit bobbly, but too late to worry about it now. Maybe I should have used a different glue. Okay. I'm filming.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Did you step either?
Yeah, it's all right. Okay. Let's get that. Oh. Let's get the bone folder and just press it down. Ooh. I think this is upside down. I mean, yeah, back to front, should I say. That's the front, and now it's not lined up, is it? thought it was lined up. No, it's not. I need to line it up. Oh, good grief. Realign it and refold it. Now I'll get a bit of cracking there, but I should put some lace on there, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. There'll be lots of lace, I think, in this journal anyway. It's just a shame, just that little bit is. If I can just try and glue that down a bit, just for now, but I will cover it up. Just glued that down a little bit. All right, so I think we have a cover. I've still got to put a topper on here, and I'm probably going to use something from the kit to do that. So is that the next job? So yeah, seems to have gone okay. Right, so I guess now I either need to put together my signature or do the topper. So I'm just going to gather my papers for the signature. At least we'll put that together. Whether I'll sew it in this video, I'm not sure. I might give that a go. Bear with, I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. It's the next day. It's a lovely bright sunny morning yet again. So I thought I want to work on the journal cover now. And the first thing I wanted to do was make a few wax seals. I've got this new one that I bought, which is just setting here. And it's this one. It's a Christmassy one. I don't know if you can see it there. Look, if I show you. It says North Pole Official Seal, and it's got a picture of Santa in the middle. So hopefully you can see that. I thought, oh, it's really a fun thing to use, and I haven't used any wax seals for ages. This is something that Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah uses all the time, and it's her that's got me into doing this, so I thought I'd make a few to start the day. So I've made a few green ones, and I've just got this one setting. This is the best one so far, I think. So what I do, if it's gone a bit lumpy bumpy on one side, like it tends, the way I do it, it always seems to bulge out one side and then have hardly anything around the other side. So I will just trim that down. I've already done it on this one just to even it up a little bit, and it looks fine. This one I did manage to get fairly central, so that one is okay. I'm quite pleased with that. And I've got two greens here. I've got this this nice kind of, they're all metallics. Most of these are metallic, so they're really nice. So this one is this lovely green that actually probably goes really well with the kit. And then I've got a darker green, which is possibly a bit more Christmassy, which is this one here. More of a classic Christmas green. So, and I think these two are probably a bit of a combination of the both, where I had a bit left and mixed the two together. So I'm just doing them on my heat mat so that they don't ruin my mat, and also they just peel off like that. So now I've got some pink. I'm going to go and do a few pinky ones and maybe a gold one or two. Just give myself a little selection of colours when I'm putting them perhaps on ephemera, but also I'd like to put one on the front cover. So let's have a go with this one, which is this warm, I don't know what colour, corally. I suppose it's like a metallic coral colour, this one. It's really pretty. So I'll try that one because that colour seems to be similar to what's in the kit. So just pour it out. It's not gone very circly, so I think this one will need a bit of a trim. I'll try and get it central on there as I can. Of course, it always seems to squidge out this side. I don't know why, but never mind. So I'm going to do another one of those. I'll just do 2 more beads, I think. I might add, what shall I add? A bit of this one. I seem to have got different shades of gold here, so I'll just try mixing them in. Put that one in as well. And I'll just be trimming these down while I'm waiting for that to set. They cut really easily with the scissors. Sometimes I keep these bits and put them back in, but I've got plenty, so I'm not going to worry. So that one's not too bad. Just where it's just cutting down the really thick bits to even it up a little. So I'll just go around each one. Do that while I'm waiting for the wax to melt. And this one as well. Peel that off my mat. Right, let's peel this up. Oh, that's pretty. It's a pretty one. I don't know if the colour's right yet. So I'm going to experiment a bit with some of these colours, see which one goes best. I've got a really bright pink and I've got a very pale pink, so that might be best on the cover, just because those colours are more true pink rather than colours in the kit are perhaps more of a warmer pink. Let's try this with a bit of gold mixed in. It's a better shape anyway. Let's just try getting this. I tried putting it central and then I have to wiggle it a bit, and it's not, that's a bit better. Okay. So what am I going to put next? I think I might just do some of this bright gold over here if I can get hold of the pellets. One. I'll just do two because there's already some in there, so there's a bit of pinky in there. And then I'll have to clean it out to do the other pink, which are more pure pinks. I quite like mixing the colours and just seeing what I get. And I'll just trim this one down a little bit. So this one came out quite well, quite central, interesting colour. Not sure how it'll go in the journal, but I'm going to just give myself a variety of colours and see what looks best. So this one looks like it's gone a bit wonky, so I'm going to do another one, a gold combination. I think I'll use this and a bit more of this. Okay, one more of these. That's not too fabulous, not too happy with that one, so I'll have to trim. I think I'll have to trim the rim right off to make it look even. Let's try this one. I think maybe I just didn't have enough wax in that one. Let's try with a bit more wax in this. There we are. Hopefully it's a little bit more evenly spread there. Let's just try peeling this up and just trim it down. Right, let's do, I've just grabbed my little pot and I'm going to do some of these pale pinks. Don't know if I need to add another colour in just to liven it up a little bit. Maybe one of the bright pinks as well. Just to add a little more depth of colour. I think those might be a bit too pale. Just lift it up nicely. Oh, well, that one's come out well. Pleased with that one. I think I'll leave that as is. Well, that's quite a pretty colour. I might just go. Okay, so an hour later, yes, I did get a bit carried away and just kept going, trying different colour combinations. And I also realised that what part of the problem when I was starting doing these was I wasn't being generous enough with the pellets, which is why they were coming out a little bit thin on one side. So I've upped my pellet count in the little spoon from 3 to 5. It's made quite a difference. So I've got a few really nice ones here that are looking a much more generous and rounded. And this is my last one, a beautiful red one. So yeah, so that's come out a lot better. I've got a few pink ones to choose from, different coloured pinks. They didn't all come out, even when I was extra generous, they still didn't come out completely evenly every time. There's not many here that I would consider perfect, but I think I've got them all in a little dish ready to use if I find the right colour. It's completely addictive making these things. I could have sat there all afternoon. But yeah, they're really fun to make, so I've got those all ready to go now. Let's get back to my cover and actually see what we can put on there as a topper. So I've got a few options. I picked out, there's a sheet in the Stamperia paper pad, the Pink Christmas, that's got these, well, they're journal cards, but they could also be used as toppers. And I like the deer and the squirrel, but I'm finding them a little bit cutesy for the cover for me. So I think that might be an option. This one here, which has got all the colours, and that's a really nice one. And it's not, it's quite Christmassy. It's got a nice winter scene, so I like that one. But I also like they've got some. There are some toppers also, or journal cards, or whatever you want to call them, from the Angela Curd kit. So I like that, but I'm not sure how well it, I don't know, there's something about on here, I don't know how well it goes. There's a whole collection of, there's two sheets of them, so there's the squirrel, which is quite sweet. These two I won't use because that I've got on the front page of my signature, and much as I like the cardinal, yes, I remembered the name this time, I don't feel it's true to Christmas in the UK, so it'll probably appear in the journal but not on the front. Which means with these two, Robin I love, but somehow the colour doesn't quite work. That one I really like. I do like that. So I might just cut that down and then just trial a couple. I think there's a couple more that I've... Where's these? Oh yeah, there's a couple more here, but these are a bit too pale, I think. Haven't quite got enough colour in these two. So yeah, so I think I'll try... see what this one looks like. So there's this one which takes up quite a lot of the front, but I do really like it. This was another option, wasn't it? Which has got more of the gold. It's got all the pink and all the colours. Quite like that as well. I just feel that this one stands out more, if you see what I mean. This one kind of, not exactly blend, but this one just sort of seems to pop a bit more. Or there's this one. And again, it in comparison to that one, it does sort of blend in a little bit. But it doesn't take up as much of the surface. Tricky. I've got this piece of pink lace. It's very, very pale pink, but it is pink. I think I used some of this on my paper bag journal. I just wondered about a bit of that, although that text does cover quite a lot of the page. It's quite wide. Not sure it does anything really for the background. I'm just wondering what else I could use. Not that one. Does this work with this? I don't know. Does that work any better? Maybe it does work a little bit better. I do think I like this one best. Something about it just, I don't know, just works for me. So I think the first thing I want to do with this is to back it, make it a bit firmer, because although it's printed onto, I think it's 160 GSM, it's still not really thick enough. I've got 3 pieces of book page glued together, and I think I might glue this on to make this a bit firmer. Let's try that. Right, let's cut round that. Ooh, it's dripping. We got drippage. Right, I'm going to cut round that, and then I'm going to sew round it. Right, so that's done. I've backed it and I've sewn around it. As you, of course, the bobbin ran out, of course, didn't it? Right in the wrong place, right in the middle of the top. So I'm going to have to try and find some way of covering that up a little bit, but I'm sure that'll be possible. But otherwise I'm quite happy with how the sewing. I just did 2 rows of wiggly sewing around that just to make it a bit more interesting, because it is fairly, it's not plain, but it hasn't got a lot going on. But actually that's what I like about it, really. And I have cut the piece of lace just because I think it might well work. Now I was going to, well, I did reach for my gold paint just to go do a bit of gold around the edge, because I just thought that would give it a nice bit of finish. But I couldn't find it in my drawer, and I remembered that Hannah and George borrowed my gold paint when they were doing some stuff for the wedding, and I don't think I got it back. So I'm going to have to improvise. So I've got a gold ink pad here, which I don't really use very much, and I'm hoping. This is the one that Lissy really likes using, so it's got. I think it's still quite juicy. I just don't find it stamps. Gold stamps don't seem to work very well. But I thought I might use it for going around the edge, so let's give that a try. Might actually work better than the paint. Anyway, the paint might get a bit all over the place. I'll probably get in a mess knowing me. So using the gold, it's just I find sometimes it doesn't have quite the shine, this ink pad, but I think it's just a case of catching it in the right light, possibly. Sometimes it just looks a bit like a brown. Let's give it a try. At least it gives it an edge and a bit of finish. Got a bit heavier on the corners. And that was a lot less messy than using paint would have been, so blessing in disguise, possibly. Just trim off these little tails. Right, so that's going to go on there. Now, although I know I've got that there, I know I need to put something along the spine. Now, do I wait until... I don't know, wait until I've sewn in the signatures, or is this going to be too... It got a little bit torn here, what we've cracked along here. I'm just trying to decide whether I sew in the signatures first and then cover that with the gold, because I've got this gold ribbon that I thought would go round quite nicely. I mean, the actual bit that go on the spine is quite see-through, but I think it would give it a nice finish. But I think I'd like to do that after I've sewn in the signatures. Just have to remember that's what I'm going to do. Put it in my little tray. So I think I will put the lace down. Yes, I think I will. I went looking for, as I say, I need to put something in the top here. It's already coming loose a little bit on there. I have to do a bit of gluing, a bit of remedial work on there. Because I've also got a few little holes where I carried on sewing, not realising that the bobbin had run out. And of course, as I'm not a very good sewer, I didn't manage to go over those holes, so they're still visible. So I might need to put something across the top there. I have got some rather gorgeous ribbon that I bought, but I don't know if the colour's quite right. I've got this, which actually I think goes quite nicely with the colours in the kit. And I've got the narrower version as well. It's the same one, just in a narrower. So I could just put that across there, which I might do. And I went looking for some bows, but because I'm still all over the place, I haven't unpacked everything, I don't know where and nothing's where I can remember where I've put it, and I don't think I've unpacked the little pot of bows that I've got, but I did find my feathers. And I did wonder if maybe I could poke a few feathers in, because I've got the green, and I've got pink, and then I've got a darker green here. So I don't know if feathers are just going to be one step too many on this. This is going a bit mad. I feel like I'm just going a bit mad on this journal, because I'm just going so out of my comfort zone with the colour. Kind of like that. Yeah. I don't know, but then it won't really. Then I can't use this ribbon really because it's a complete clash. So yeah, it might not work. Maybe the green. Maybe a green one would be all right. Again, it's not the perfect colour, but with the colours that are on the cover, it's not terrible. And that's kind of pretty like that, isn't it? And then it wouldn't matter. The pink would still work. Maybe I'll make this into a bow. I'm not very good at making bows, but I'll have a go. Yeah, I quite like that, I have to say. Yeah, maybe just one. Not go too mad. Let's put this lace down anyway, because I know I like that. Right, so that's there. That will go there. My little feather under there. Just poking out at the side. Yep, liking that. Really going off piste here, aren't I? With the, as far as Christmas goes. It's not traditional at all. I don't know what's come over me. I could put that there. That might work. Let's just do a little fishtail thingy. Right, that. And then maybe do a bit of ruffling above across the bottom there. Just going to try and ruffle up this ribbon using Fabri-Tac. So it might take a few minutes just to do each bit and get it to dry. So I'll be back in a second. Oop. Right, so I've got the ruffle done. I know it seems a shame to cover up all of this lovely work I did on the journal cover, but it's all part of the process and it all peeks through anyway. And it was fun to make, so you know, you have to cover these things up. When you want to make a cover, you do cover a lot of your work up, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that's long enough. That's really pretty. You can see how glittery this, I don't know if you can see it, it's really glittery, this ribbon. So pretty. I might have even made it a bit long, I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay, so I think that's that. And the only thing now to decide, so I've got my little bit of feather. The only thing to decide now is whether to use one of these wax seals that I spent hours making this morning. Which colour would go best? Now I'm wondering about one of the greens, because that green goes really well with the leaf. It'd be a nice contrast, and I've got the green feather. Not that it's the same green, obviously, but I do wonder. Oops, upside down. That looked odd. Could put that there or there. Maybe turn this one round and have it that way round and have the... Would that be Hannah saying, yes, I have got your gold paint, Mum? I think it might be. Never mind. The gold ink worked perfectly well instead. So how about that? Does that work? Popped on there. Did any other colours work? There's another green one. Similar colour, not quite as dark. That might be better. I don't think any of the pink ones are going to work in the end, even though I did multiple pinks. Because it doesn't go with the ribbon. What other colour did I have? There is this one, which would go with the ribbon. But I'm not sure it shows up enough. Looks quite nice. That one. I'm still not sure about putting it on the ribbon because the ribbon's quite bulky. I think I prefer the green. Not sure if this is the place for it though. Could I put it in the middle of the bow? Is that going to look really weird? I mean, I'm embracing the weird today. But yeah, that doesn't work at all. It doesn't sit. I'll come back to it. I'm going to squeeze it on somewhere, I'm determined. So I need to attach my topper. No, I don't. I need to attach my feather first. So where's that going to go? Is it going to go right there? Topper there. Yep. Right along the edge there. I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac for this. I'm just going to put it along the spine of the feather. Ooh, so many fluffy bits. Just wait for it to grab. I love the fluffiness. I mean, if I'm going to go off traditional with this journal for Christmas, let's just go all the way, shall we? All the way non-traditional. I'll probably come back to this next year and think, what on earth was I thinking? Because once I've actually put the journal together, I'm going to have to put it aside and finish it next year, do the ephemera and all that kind of thing next year, I think. Because I really want to start working on this year's journal. It'll be quite strange to go back to all the traditional colours in Ali's journal that I'm so used to after working in this colour scheme. But that's all part of the fun, isn't it? Chopping and changing. Now I've got this all glued up. Chopping and changing the styles and colours and things. It's part of the fun. When Richard and I were on our walk yesterday, we called into the local community centre just to see what was happening locally and to warm up a little bit because we'd already got cold and we haven't got very far. And there was some ladies in the hall, and so another lady was passing by with a cup of coffee. So I said, "Oh, what's going on in there?" She said, "Oh, that's our craft club." "Oh, really?" I said. "When does that happen?" She said, "It's every week, every Wednesday morning." So my eyes lit up. She said, "Oh, do you like craft?" I said, "Oh, yes." And "Are you new to the village?" And yes, we are. So she said, "Yep, come and join us in January." So I think I will. Introduce them to the joys of junk journaling, shall I? I think they all do different things. They do, whatever they happen to be into. So there'll be ladies crocheting, knitting, doing all sorts of... I think there's somebody who does beautiful art. I have no idea. I said I'll probably spend the first week just seeing what everybody else is doing. It's going to be really interesting. And it's a really good way to meet some new people who are into the same things as me. So I was really pleased we popped in just at that moment because I had no idea. My neighbour had said there was a craft club, but she didn't know much about it. So I'm going to see if I can join in January. That will be really fun. I hope it'll be fun. I think it will. I think it's just a case of, a couple of hours, having a cup of coffee, having a chat, sharing what you make. How much fun does that sound? Loads of fun. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so that's there. Now, what do I do with my bow? There it is. So that's going to go in the middle. covering up a multitude of mistakes. It's not the best bow in the world, but it will do. And then let's do this ruffle down here. Yep. A little bit that way. Okay. Loving the ruffle, sparkly ruffle. Let's put that aside. I've still got loads more for the rest of the journal, as long as I don't lose it in between now and next year. Okay, so where am I going to put Santa was here? No, not Santa was here. My North Pole special official seal, that's what it is. Actually, I think it could go there. Yep, it's going to go there. Just bridge that gap between the feather and the ruffle. That's fine, I'm happy with that, so it kind of brings everything together. Make sure it goes up the right way. There. Just hold that moment, make sure it grabs. I have one more idea of what I might add, just in the light of going way over the top, because I'm not really keen on this little jaggedy line of lace just peeking beneath the ribbon ruffle. So, in the same shop that I bought the ribbon, because I bought it with this journal in mind, I also found this really pretty lace, and I think I might just tuck that under there. I can get it just tucked under. I think that will just give that, oh yes, that will just give it a nice little finish. Yes, yes, yes. So let's do that. Okay. See if I can get the Fabri-Tac just underneath the edge of the ruffle so I can. So there it is, there's my journal cover. I really like it. It's not the most Christmassy in my mind, but I do think it's really pretty. And we're going to embrace it this year, aren't we? The pink Christmas. So this is for you, Brenda. I know you love a pink Christmas. I might still put book corners on, the four corners. I'll decide if I've got any. I don't even know if I've got any left. So in the next video, I will put the signature together and sew it in, and then that will be it for this year. And I'll put this aside to work in next year, and hopefully start a bit earlier. So thank you for joining me today, and do join me again in the next video. Bye for now.